Imagine a child, just 13 years old, full of life, sent away to school hoping for a better future, only for their journey to end. Well, in a shocking mystery, what if the very institutions meant to protect them seemed to falter? Leaving behind just unanswered questions and a mother's heartbreaking plea for truth? It feels like the system designed to keep our young ones safe sometimes lets them down in the most profound ways. And the immediate response can sometimes be, well, baffling. For me, growing up here in Malaysia, school always felt like a second home. You know, you trust that place. So the idea that a place of learning could become a place of tragedy, where a young life like Zara Qairina Mahathir's is cut short under such perplexing circumstances, it truly shakes you. This isn't just some news story. It hits right at our collective hopes and maybe our fears for the next generation.
And that's exactly why we need to talk about this case. This is the story of Zara, a 13-year-old student. She was at a religious technical school in Papar, Sabah. Her life tragically ended on July 17th. Now, initially, it was reported as a fall from the third floor of her dormitory. But her mother, in a moment of just unimaginable grief, discovered something deeply unsettling on Zara's body, something that contradicted that initial story.
And the reaction from people, especially in Sabah, Sandakan, and Tawau, all over it, was this huge outpouring of emotion, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Thousands gathered. Candlelight vigils demanding justice for Zara.
It's powerful. Shows how deeply this case has resonated across the whole nation. There's immense sympathy, sure, but also this real, tangible anger. What do you even make of a situation like that, where the first explanation just doesn't sit right with the people closest, with the family? What thoughts immediately jump into your mind? Okay, let's try and unpack the timeline here. Zara Qairina was found unconscious. It was in a drain near her school dormitory in Papar, Sabah. Early hours of July 16th, 2025.
Right. And tragically, she passed away the very next day, July 17th.
And like we said, the initial report, a fall from the third floor.
But here's where it gets really interesting and deeply concerning. Zara's mother, while preparing her daughter for burial that evening, July 17th, she found suspicious bruises on Zara's back.
Bruises on her back. That doesn't immediately scream fall from 3 stories, does it?
Well, exactly. A fall like that usually causes severe, often catastrophic injuries, broken bones, major trauma. But what the mother described were these bruises, which seemed inconsistent with that kind of impact. It immediately raised huge red flags for her.
Suggesting maybe something else happened, something more than just an accident.
That was her immediate fear. And what's more, at this point, a full post-mortem hadn't even been done yet.
Which brings us to the early handling of the case. It seems troubling. No immediate post-mortem, which you'd think is standard in an unexplained death. Her clothes, personal things, potential forensic evidence were apparently just returned to the mother, not collected.
That's what was reported, yes. Items that could hold vital clues were seemingly not secured for investigation right away.
And then the allegation that the school itself told the mother not to report it to the police. Why would they do that?
Well, that's a huge question, isn't it? Any advice like that, if true, immediately sounds alarm bells. It suggests maybe a priority other than finding the truth, perhaps trying to manage the situation internally.
Or worse. It's hard not to think that.
And this wasn't happening in a vacuum. We later learned Zara had apparently told her mother about being bullied, threatened even. She reportedly used some really chilling words like, "If I touch you, you will bleed."
Oh, wow. So there was a history there, or at least alleged threats.
According to the mother, yes. That context adds such a vital, disturbing layer to everything. It fuels the mother's suspicions and her push for a much closer look at how Zara died.
So facing all this, the inconsistencies, the alleged lack of proper procedure, her own daughter's reported fears, Zara's mother started fighting for answers.
She did. On July 30th, she filed a supplementary police report.
And in that report,
She explicitly stated her belief that the injuries didn't match a fall. She formally requested an exhumation and a full investigation into possible criminal activity. She wasn't just grieving, she was demanding action based on what she saw.
then she filed another report.
Yes, on August 3rd, a third report. In this one, she gave more details about the back injuries she saw. And crucially, she handed over her phone. It contained recordings of conversations with Zara,
Recordings. What was on them?
including one very short clip, just 4 seconds, where Zara apparently sounded really shaken. And she mentioned someone called CM.
CM. Just initials.
Just CM. And lawyers for the family later confirmed these recordings were authentic. So now you have tangible evidence potentially pointing towards, well, something specific. And all this persistence, the mother's reports, combined with that growing public outcry, it eventually forced a major U-turn.
Because initially, the authorities seemed ready to close the book.
It seemed that way. The Home Minister, Dato Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, announced on August 2nd that the police investigation was actually complete. Done. Report sent to the Attorney General's chambers.
Implying that was basically it. Case closed, move on.
That was the implication many took. But just 6 days later, August 8th, the Attorney General's chambers did something decisive. They sent the investigation report straight back to the Royal Malaysia Police.
Send it back. Why?
Demanding further investigation, and their most critical instruction, exhume Zara's body for a second post-mortem.
Wow. Okay.
That right there is a huge official acknowledgement, isn't it? That the first investigation wasn't good enough, especially given the missing evidence, like the clothing. The process for this, by the way, falls under sections 331 and 335 of the Criminal Procedure Code. It gives authorities the power to order exhumation when needed for justice.
So finally the exhumation happened, almost 3 weeks after Zara died, August 9th. At the Tanjung Ubi Muslim Cemetery in Sipitang, Sabah. Even in pouring rain, they went ahead.
Yes, her mother was there, along with people from the Royal Malaysia Police and the Attorney General's chambers.
And the goal was clear. Look for anything missed. Trauma, defensive wounds, anything inconsistent with that initial story of a simple fall. Find more information, more evidence.
Now, while all this was unfolding, public emotion was running incredibly high. That Justice for Zara hashtag was everywhere. But with that came, well, a lot of noise. Rumors, conspiracy theories online. It got pretty wild.
Like what kind of things?
Some people claimed children of high-profile families were involved, even ministers' kids.
Seriously, was there any truth to that?
Well, the Royal Malaysia Police quickly denied it. Zara's mother denied it. And even the Sabah Science, Technology and Innovation Minister, Arif Arifin, had to come out and publicly say he didn't even have a daughter named Farisha at that school, directly shooting down one specific rumor.
Okay, so officials pushed back hard on those claims.
They did. Then there was this bizarre washing machine theory suggesting evidence was somehow laundered away, which the family's lawyers said was completely baseless, just online speculation running rampant.
It sounds like chaos trying to manage information.
It really highlights the challenge. And then there were even suggestions apparently stemming from leaked police files trying to paint Zara's death as maybe a suicide linked to her mother's emotional state.
Wait, trying to blame the mother?
The family's lawyers certainly saw it that way. They suspected it was an attempt to manipulate public opinion, to discredit the family just as they were pushing for answers.
This is deeply concerning.
Yes,
It's true. Shows how messy and potentially manipulative things can get in high-profile cases.
Definitely. And the political leadership, they had to respond to this mounting pressure, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. The response from the top was quite strong.
Prime Minister Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim, what did he say? He was very firm, very public. He stressed the investigation must be transparent, unequivocally. He said, and I'm quoting loosely here, whether it's a minister's child or anyone else, no one would be protected. He explicitly stated the Madani government wouldn't shield perpetrators.
Strong words. Did he take any action?
He said he personally contacted the Inspector General of Police and the Attorney General to ensure justice was pursued. He sounded genuinely affected, saying things like, "This is a life. I feel sad because this could be my child or grandchild."
Mm-hmm.
He even directed the head of the Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department, Dato M. Kumar, to personally oversee the investigation down in Sabah, the stated reason, to prevent any perception of a cover-up.
That's a significant move, sending the top CID director.
It is. And similarly, the Home Minister, Dato Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, assured everyone the police would act swiftly on the AG's order for exhumation and promised updates. You definitely saw a shift towards visible action from the federal level. And it wasn't just the top leaders. The case drew comments from across the political divide.
Right. What about others, like in Sabah itself?
Sabah's chief minister, Dato Seri Haji Jinur, acknowledged the nationwide attention. He basically said, look, seeking justice is a common demand here, understandable. Then you had the youth wings weighing in. The chief of Pakatan Harapan Youth, Wu Jialiang, that's the coalition currently in federal power, urged an immediate reinvestigation. He stressed how crucial this is for public trust in institutions. He said quite powerfully, a child can't just die without a clear, credible reason.
Okay, so urging thoroughness from the government side. What about the opposition?
The chief of Parakatan National Youth, Hilman Edem, took a much harder line. He actually called for the education minister and the home minister to resign.
Resign. Why?
He cited what he saw as mishandling of the case, leading to a loss of public confidence. He also pushed back against calls to not politicize the issue. Well, it certainly shows how a tragedy like this gets inevitably tangled up in the broader political context. It becomes a flashpoint for existing tensions and criticisms.
Beyond the politics, though, this case really shines a harsh light on deeper systemic issues, doesn't it? Particularly around boarding schools.
Absolutely. This isn't just about one specific tragic incident, horrible as it is. It's a stark reminder of things we know can happen, sometimes hidden, within educational institutions. Boarding schools, they offer opportunities, but they can also sometimes develop these intense peer hierarchies, and that can lead to a culture where bullying happens, but it stays silent, goes unreported, unchecked.
The silent culture?
Exactly. And experts have been saying for years we need more than just awareness campaigns. We need comprehensive, school-wide anti-bullying laws enforced properly. We need more focus on empathy, on social-emotional learning. And critically, we need reporting systems that are robust, where students feel safe using them, and where schools are held accountable for acting on reports.
So Zara's case becomes a catalyst, maybe, forcing us to look at those bigger picture vulnerabilities.
That has to be the hope, doesn't it? That something positive, some real change can come from such a tragedy.
So where does this leave us? The reopening of Zara Qairina's case. It happened because of a mother who wouldn't give up against considerable obstacles. And because the public demanded it. It just underscores this critical need, always, for transparency, for accountability within our institutions, the ones meant to protect us, especially our children. It's not just about this one terribly sad death. It's really about restoring faith. Faith in the systems that are supposed to work, supposed to deliver justice for everyone, no matter who they are.
And that brings us to the big question moving forward. Will this new investigation, the one demanded by the Attorney General, finally uncover the complete truth, whatever that may be? And maybe more importantly, will it actually lead to meaningful reforms? Real changes in our schools and how these cases are handled legally?
That's the hope, isn't it?
It has to be. The hope is Zara's story forces a reckoning, one that's maybe long overdue, so that no other family, no other child has to go through this kind of painful, drawn-out search for basic answers. Her mother's wish seems so simple, fundamentally, for the truth to come out so Zara can rest in peace. And maybe for an end to any lingering idea that influence means you can act without consequence.
We're definitely at a point where the determination we've seen from ordinary people and the commitments stated by our leaders are really being tested. Let's hope this becomes a turning point, not just for Zara's family, but really for every single child in schools across Malaysia. Remember to like and subscribe for more.